Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this is your daily go-getterism number 687 for August 20th, 2016. Alright, so tonight I want to talk to y'all about too many people under one roof. Too many people under one roof. Now, when you think about too many people being under one roof, you think about an uncomfortable situation, right? You think about a situation where you're going to see maybe a nuclear family, and then you're going to see a whole lot of other family members that are mixed in along with the nuclear family. So you're going to have extended family members, or other people who aren't really family but are like family. So let's try to break some of this down. First of all, when there are too many people under one roof, that could be anywhere from two people on all the way up to whatever infinite number that there is under one roof. You know, living in the house at one time. And sometimes some living arrangements are so congested that it's really hard to tell who's living there and who's staying there. There's a difference between living somewhere and staying somewhere. When you're living somewhere, you have an address. You get mail at that place. You more than likely pay bills. You have your own room. You have some things there that you have ownership in. You have some say so as far as how the domicile is conducted, whether it's a house or an apartment. So you have some say so on who comes and who goes in there. You know, how the place is set up physically, you know, cosmetically. That's how it is when you live in a place. When you staying in a place, you may be in transition, going from one place to another place. You know, like, I don't really live here, but I need to stay here for a little while until I get on my feet, or I need to stay here for a while until, you know, things blow over at home, or until I get until my place gets ready, or whatever the case may be. There's just a big difference between living someplace and staying someplace. When you live in someplace, more than likely you have a key. You can come and go as you please. You lock up, you lock people out. When you stay in the place, you may have to wait until somebody opens the door for you, or you may have to go somewhere else until morning time if you come in too late because you don't have a key. And you better not wake the people up who live there to let you in, because then there's going to be a problem and you might not be staying there no more. So when you have a living arrangement where there are too many people under one roof, that could be a variety of things. Like I said, okay, let me try to break it down for you a little bit. If you're the type of person who is used to living alone, or really just likes to live alone, or always wanted to live alone, maybe you grew up in a big family where you didn't have your own space, where you didn't have your own room, where you never had a place to, you know, to just be alone with your thoughts and get things together, process, have some privacy. So you finally get your own place like you always wanted, and you really, really wanted to just live by yourself. So you know how it is when you live by yourself, but you have enough space for other people to visit and stay there. Somebody's going to make sure that they visit a lot and stay there a lot, or permanently. People worm their way into your space. So if you really just wanted to live by yourself, maybe you and maybe your child, or however it goes, solo dolo, or with your own family, then anybody else who moves in there, or who stays there too long or too much, comes to visit too much, that's still too many people under one roof, because you don't want that living arrangement. You don't want people around you all the time. You really just want to be alone sometimes. And that's one of the things about having a lot of people living under one roof, is their privacy issues, privacy concerns. And sometimes you might just need to get away. So what happens when two people get together, for example, and one is used to having a lot of company over the house, so they always got people coming over. Excuse me. Maybe they come over and drink, play cards, shoot pool, play video games, or if it's on the woman's side, the friends come over, maybe they drink, you know, swap war stories, talk about their kids or their family or whatever. Maybe they bring their kids, stuff like that. When one person isn't on board with that and the other person is, it can cause a problem. I mean, I guess that's a pretty obvious problem right there, right? That doesn't even take a whole lot of thinking in order to get into. But it's not an easy thing to fix all the time, because sometimes people need a place to stay, and you may have the place that they can stay for a while, but you really just want to help them out temporarily so they can save up their money and get their own place and all of that, and they wind up staying too long. So a month or two or a couple of weeks was, which is what it was supposed to be, turned into a couple of months. Then 6 months, which is 180 days, and a year, and then all of a sudden, there's no end in sight. So it can be a tough situation, and not a desirable situation for all parties involved. People start to get upset. And wearing out your welcome is one way you can really upset a household. Also, just not doing the things within the household that you're supposed to do, not playing your role, and acting selfishly is another thing that can make it seem like are too many people under one roof. It's tough. It's tough. And, culturally, we know they're like Latinos and Asians. They have a lot of people living in one roof. But I don't know when black people somehow got away from that stereotype, because we were the original people known for multiplying, being fruitful and multiplying, and having a lot of people living under the roof. I've been in plenty of houses where there was hardly any area of the house that wasn't occupied. So people living in the living room, whether they have the sofa bed popping, or the floor, or ottoman chair, something like that, and don't let the place have an attic. People sleeping in the attic, people sleeping in the basement, multiple people sleeping in the basement, bunk beds in every room. Hey, when it goes down, it goes down. Now, that's not so bad when you have a house full of people who are working, making their own money, and making things happen, and are able to contribute and provide. But when you have a house full of people who ain't working, everybody's getting a check, everybody is stingy with their check because the check ain't that much, but the food stamps are popping like crazy. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. But growing up in an environment like that, more than likely you're going to want to have your own one day. But then again, on the flip side of that, some people never get away from living in close quarters like that, so they're afraid to live by themselves. They are, afraid to be alone with their own thoughts. It happens for a lot of people, being afraid to be with your own thoughts. And that's what it is. Other than that, and I didn't even get into the whole thing about, like, when a husband and wife have their own crib, and then other family members are coming over the crib, or they need a place to live in the crib, and then things get messed up between the two spouses, because now it's like, all right, well, look, I ain't mind helping your cousin or your brother or your sister out, whatever, but they overstaying their welcome, and look, I don't like the way they do this, that, and the third. They nasty, they inconsiderate, they're selfish, they don't want to give up no money, they want everything for nothing, they don't want to contribute anything. So it's a good way to doom a marriage, really. But it's not like that all the time. It's important for two people to be on the same page when it comes to whoever's living under that same roof. Shit, it's hard enough for just the two parties involved. Sometimes just the two of them being in the house together is too many people under one roof. When one person is tired of the other one, or they're tired of each other. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, one of the things that I didn't talk about is when children always have their friends over and they want to spend the night. And there have been times when, as your children become teenagers, they get their little boyfriends, their little girlfriends. Don't let one of them get pregnant, and now they need to move the boyfriend in, and or even if there are no children involved, and one of their friends get kicked out of the house, maybe for smoking weed or selling drugs or something like that. Anyway, their parents weren't going for it. They kick them out, and you somehow you become the parent, letting them in your crib. Too many people under one roof, especially if they ain't doing right. UrbanTherapyWithSon.com. Get down with the website. The hood is our health, baby. The hood is our health. Don't ever forget that. Or as they say in the hood, don't never forget that. You know what I'm saying? The Daily Go Get 'Emism show each and every day, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get down with the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. Don't front on that. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow, 6 a.m. on the Daily Go Get 'Emism show. Peace.